Tune into the other side of sports. It's your host, Laws in the building. It's me. It's Aaron. We in here. We rocking out. Already, we're gonna get to all the get good stuff. We're gonna talk about King James getting trumped by the Joker. You put that Joker card down. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about the legacy of LeBron and what this means for him. We're gonna talk about Jimmy Butler and the Celtics and the cheatingest NBA referee of all time, Scott Foster. Going to talk about it. Before we get into that stuff, got a question of the day. First, we got a video question of the day. This is something. I'm not going to play the whole jump because it's way too long. So I'm gonna just go ahead and play like a snippet of it so you can get the gist of what the dude's trying to say. Then we're gonna talk about it. All right, here we go. Let me pull this joint up.
Another a-hole for refusing to pay for my stepdaughter's wedding because her real daddy is the one that's gonna walk her down the aisle. So let me tell you guys about my stepdaughter, all right? She wants her real daddy to walk her down the aisle. Now let me give you a little backstory on me and my stepdaughter. She just graduated from university, which I paid for. Now, she went to an in-state university, but it still cost me about $40,000. Now, I also bought her a car. I bought her a car straight after high school. That way she could go back and forth to school. I bought her a car. She still lives with me and her mother. She does not have a job. Now, she's set to be married on August the 8th. And for the past 6 months, that's all her and her mother been talking about doing. Being occupied with, being consumed most of their time. Now, her daddy, he don't contribute to not 1 cent on her. Not her education, not child support, which is partly her mother's fault because, you know, she didn't fight for that. I guess that's just what the settlement was. And he only around to make promises. I do that for you. I do this for you, and then take off. And then she'd be heartbroken. But she adores her father, right? So, like I said, she's set to be married in August. And the wedding venue, I told them they could have it in my home. The wedding venue can hold about 250 people, right? Now I said, hey, I got a list of 20 people that I want to come to the wedding. I'm paying for this at my house. I want these 20 people to come. Do y'all know Saturday, I see one of my friends at the golf course, right? He's supposed to come to the wedding. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna see you at the wedding, right? He said, I only got an announcement. I didn't get an invite. I'm like, nah. I'll let my girlfriend and stepdaughter know to send out the invitations on these few people. And you're supposed to get an invite. He said, I got something, but it was an announcement. So we walked to his car because I want to check, right? And sure enough, it was an announcement. So I went and talked to my girlfriend and said, did you invite those 20 people to the wedding that I told you about? Man, she didn't invite none of them. She said 250 people was a little tight, and I don't think we can get your 20 people in there. Man, I was pissed. And the people that were supposed to come, they pissed as well. Then she's going to say if any other people that we already invited don't RSVP, then we'll get some of your people in here. I'm like, what? Man, that's crazy, man. Don't even worry about it, man. I'll just be mad. All right? So now, the crazy part about it is when I check the invitations, they don't even have my name on them. They have her real daddy and her on the invitation that I paid for. I paid for these invitations. How you got a real daddy on there, her mama on there? Cool. Couple days later, I'm hosting the venue at my house, hosting the wedding family at my house, okay? It's me, stepdaughter, girlfriend.
No, I can't stand it no more, bro. I can't. So let me just go ahead and fill y'all in with the rest of the junk because it's just, and I hope y'all see, if y'all don't learn anything else from listening to us, though, we pay attention to stuff and we hear trigger words and we put context clues together, and that's how we figure out what's going on in situations. Before I get to that, he goes on to say that basically the real dad is being like getting all this praise, and they like got a daddy daughter dance, and he's nowhere on the. He's basically just a silent investor on a. That's basically what he's saying. They made him a silent investor. He has no parts of the junk, even though he's been doing all this stuff for supposedly his girlfriend's daughter, which is he's saying is his stepdaughter, but he called this girl his girlfriend. But so he's doing all this stuff, and basically he's not being appreciated, and so in turn, he's basically saying he's going to withdraw all his financial contributions. He's not going to let him have a thing in his at his house. He going to just take all his money back, and he's not going to fund the whole situation. Aaron, what do you think about that, though?
The funny part is when he gets to the part about, oh, so y'all not gonna treat me like family? I'm not a part of this family. Boyfriends are part of the family. Why ain't you married a mother? You've been together 10 years, then you be the father. But he want to play both sides of the fence. Whichever side benefit him the best at the moment, just cut it out. And then on top of
No,
that,
I don't.
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
On top of that, like people only do things when they know they can do it. Like you could just tell by his mannerisms, by his whole approach to the joint, that he think he can kind of like buy his way to being in control, buy his way to being the dad. Like because he pay for everything, he think that make him the guy. But you could tell they don't respect the Bama because they wouldn't be doing all this joint anyway. And then
No, love can't be manufactured. If somebody does something for you and you appreciate them and they really all today trying to paint the whole picture to be, though, Bama's don't. It's not hard for people to appreciate people they appreciate. That's never been
on,
difficult to do.
yeah, and on top of that, her father is her father. Like you can't like buy your way into
There it
like
is.
replacing who her father is to her. Like regardless of what you see on TV and social media, her father's her father. You would hope that regardless of if a father is not financially providing that, there would be some sort of relationship there to where she, like, generally speaking, you would think girls would have a certain amount of respect and adoration for who their father is.
Mhm.
And so, as somebody who, if you feel like you doing all this, and that, it should be because you feel like that's what needs to be done, not to get like
To get
these little,
recognition, to be
yeah, he
seen,
want these
to get
trinkets to put
yeah.
on it.
He
It's like, dog, that's her father. Like if that's who you are as a person to look out
yo.
for people,
But if you really like that though, Aaron, and don't get it twisted. I know like not being appreciated, that's one thing. But like the fact that she wants her dad to be a part, like you really should be encouraging that, though. You should be trying to be there and be as a positive support as possible. And if that's not really your daughter and your daughter-in-law, then dog,
it's your
why are you
girlfriend's daughter.
spending
What
all
the
this
fuck?
money?
It's
Yeah,
your
you
girlfriend's daughter.
you out
Cut it
here
out.
like, come on, bro, you wilding and like, yeah, dog.
Go
That's
make her
just
mom an
like
honest woman if you Mr. Do right. How about that?
she not gonna let him, dog. She don't want to be with this Bama. He acting like this. Bama got the braided beard, looking like Solomon out here. He on some other type stuff, dog. And
And you
I'm
already
the
know how
Beta
I feel.
Max. I just can't. That joint is just it's Bama here, dog. You on first of all, this is how Beta Max these Bamas is these days, Aaron. They go to social media with their feelings, dog. Like it's like he trying to garner support. Like people would be like, "Yeah, young, this is what you gotta do. You got like, dog. This is worse than simping, in my opinion. Cause you searching for validation, like from outside sources, and it just shows your level of insecurity and who you are, and all the stuff that you're doing is disingenuous because you're not doing it for the right reasons. Clearly, talking about I paid for her education, I bought her a car, I did all this, I did all that, and now they got the dad at the jump doing the mother daughter dance, and I'm left out. They ain't put my name on the flyer. They didn't invite my people that I wanted to invite.
You the
Dog,
mother's
it's not
boyfriend.
your wedding, bro. It's not your wedding. It's like, yeah, no. I mean, and clearly he been buying her stuff all along because that's the expectation. They like, yeah, this Bama offering his
Trying to buy
house up.
love.
Yeah, dog.
And then
Oh,
he turned the
oh,
camera around and
Buddy
tried to show
Dollar.
his house like he was living in a joint that was like that. This man in a regular a rancher down somewhere in Laurel. Dog, get this nigga out of here. And then he know what's supposed to happen at a wedding. Why, if you know so much about a wedding, how about you go if you want to control the wedding, marry the mother. Then you get to control all the details. You get to
You
see who
invite who you
invited.
want.
Yeah, there it
Yeah.
is. Where the venue is. You get to pay for it, and you don't get to point the finger at nobody. How about that?
Yeah, this Bama Simp 101, dog. Get him out of here, dog. All right, we got time for another question. Question of the day. It says, I'm 30, my girlfriend's 28. We have been together for a little over 4 years, and she's overall a wonderful person. I would like to consider ourselves very open-minded, respectful, and overall allies to anyone and everyone. Unfortunately, my girlfriend needs to be an ally. Unfortunately, my girlfriend's need to be an ally has turned into more harm than helpful, in my opinion. She has essentially become a white savior in the worst possible way. I've tried multiple times to let her know she's doing something wrong, and so have some of our friends who are minorities themselves, but it just seems to not connect in her mind how she's not being woke and borderline disrespectful. I recently had to physically pull her away from a situation because the situation was quickly getting out of hand. When we got home, it became a huge argument where I called her out on all her recent ignorance and some. If I'm being honest, I don't think I'm in the wrong here. And although some of our friends agree with me, others say she's just trying to help. And I wouldn't know what it feels like to need an ally since I am everything society deems as a perfect individual in the sense that I'm straight white male who grew up with more than enough to live comfortably. There are just so many instances where her being woke has just been ignorance. Example one, we were out with friends and some who are a part of the LBGT community. We are both not. We're talking and joking amongst themselves, and one of them referred to themselves with the F slur. My girlfriend started berating them on the use of the slur, the history, and why it's offensive. Our friends just laughed it off, but it was obvious the tension was there after the situation. On the May 5th, she asked her coworker, who was Mexican, what they were doing for the day, and they told her that they would be working. She got offended on their behalf because they shouldn't be working. I'm guessing Cinco de Mayo shouldn't be working on such an important holiday. Mind you, you don't even celebrate it. Okay. Third situation. The most recent that caused all this while we were out eating with some friends. There was a young kid outdoor by himself for a while. So my girlfriend went over to him and offered to buy him lunch. Not even 3 minutes later, his mom came over and tried to get him back to wherever they were going. And my girlfriend offered to buy her lunch, and the mom refused and given and offered to give the money. And it was obvious the mom was getting upset. So I went over there to try to get her to come sit back with us. And she refused, saying she couldn't eat knowing there was people who needed help. And the mom at this point was more than upset. So she asked my girlfriend what made her think that we needed her help. And she stupidly responded with the dumb statistic of how the Hispanic community suffered the most when it came to poverty and hunger. And the mom was more than ready to get physical. So I pulled her away from the whole altercation. I don't know what to do. What should I do?
Number one, stop using woke to refer to minorities and situations outside of black. That's where it got hijacked from. So let's start there. We get all the stuff about your girlfriend, but the way you can improve yourself is don't use woke when it refers to Hispanics and LGBTQ and all that
That's a
other stuff.
fact.
That word was hijacked by terrorist white women, liberal white women that like to control narratives and they're entitled and they hear something they want to spread it and apply it to everything else. Don't appropriate that word when you're trying to figure out a solution for your girlfriend being a Karen.
There you go. Dog, yeah, yeah. So this is problematic because both of y'all are working with blinders. And it's like two people wearing sunglasses trying to like talk about the sun. It's gonna be difficult for y'all to even be on the same page because it seems to me like you trying to just fall all the way back and not even broach those situations or topics. And then you're young and jumping all the way in, like she from these communities and not being respectful of potential boundaries that may exist. Um, and I don't know what spawned that or brought that on, what kind of guilt or situation. I mean, if y'all wanted to do something for other communities, right? You you can write your congressman, try to get legislation passed. Can we get reparations, though? Can we get that? Yeah, it's tough because I don't know what you're supposed to do for her and her ignorance, where you might have some unconscious bias that maybe in your way. I just don't know what to tell you, bro. All right.
No, I mean, we in a period of overcorrection where this is the main reason I retired, because white women are at the point where they are more of a minority and viewed that way than actual minorities, even though they're the
Mm-hmm.
biggest group in America is white women of any other group. That's a fact. Look it up. So, like, they feel so entitled, especially when they feel like they're a good white person by trying to empathize with issues of other minority communities.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost nothing you can tell them once they feel like they're one of the good liberal white women. And it's just for me, that's either going to be something you have to decide, can you deal with it or not? Because
Mm-hmm.
until something traumatic happens, like until like if one of the Hispanic lady
Somebody
went
put
upside her
hands on.
head, or put her in a Karen moment where she goes viral online, they
Mhm.
typically don't change. They get defensive just like the rest of white people do when you they get approached with the
Yeah,
subject of them not being perfect or not looking at things the right way, and it's just
yeah. They get the crying
there it is.
yeah, you just with no tears. It
S-
just
So at this point, you got to decide if that's something you can deal with or not. Not what's the right way to change her, because the only thing
yeah.
that's going to change her is somebody putting hands on her or her going viral.
Oh yeah. Nah, that's yeah. No, yeah, nah, that's that yeah, that's wild. Okay, all right. On to some sports. LeBron James and the Lakers, they get swept by Jokic, Jamal Murray, and the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets, this is their first time ever going into the NBA finals, though. But a lot of the attention and the talk is about the Lakers. Is that problematic? People going in on ESPN, like how they just the focus was just on the Lakers. I mean, we know why, but
It's
like,
no different than when it's Dallas or what I mean. Certain
yeah,
certain subjects got a bigger trigger for the audience, and
mm-hmm,
LeBron is
mm-hmm,
one of those things because everybody likes to have that GOAT conversation, and people were starting to
mm-hmm,
get to the point where they're putting him over Jordan, um, like it was settled, and then you have situations like this, and then people want to kind of revisit the subject, particularly people in the Jordan camp who were just waiting for something like this to happen to be able to say, "See, we told you, our guy's the GOAT, not your
mm-hmm.
guy." So I don't know why people are shocked about this being a bigger subject than Denver. Nobody's gonna watch the finals. Nobody cares about Denver.
Yeah, they haven't cared about Denver. That's probably not going to change. But the money that they made off of this sweep jump,
Vegas,
Vegas cashed out. They cashed out, Aaron. Because though I thought they would get one. I think the Lakers would get one. They beat the
everybody did.
Warriors, though.
Everybody did. The Warriors weren't that good. Let that
Okay,
the
but
Warriors
they
weren't that
weren't
good.
they weren't that good. But still, like it's still the Warriors. Like it's I I didn't see this one coming, dog. This is
I,
this.
the Wizards, the Lakers never found anybody to be able to guard Murray. They single-handedly let this Bama just disrupt the entire flow of the series. And even when Jokic wasn't playing well, or even when the Lakers, had at certain points commanding leads, they
Mhm,
would let Jamal Murray decide like, nah. And the game they lost, what was it, game three, when they had a
mhm,
lead of like 12, 13 points,
mhm.
and then just let him just make shot, make shot, make shots, and they never came up with a solution for that. So I think their role players were too old. I think it wasn't so much LeBron and AD, but when you have guys at that
Mhm.
age with that many miles on them, you need younger guys who are going to hustle, who are going to dive on the
Dog,
floor.
they had
You can't
Tristan Thompson out there,
right.
dog. I
You can't
said, come
have
on, bro. What is y'all
D'Angelo Russell and some of these other guys they had out there who aren't going to participate in those kind of things because they feel like they're arrived. That's something that you look for your young players to be able to do.
yeah, trying to earn some stripes, yeah.
Yeah, and there was at times where D'Angelo Russell wasn't making shots. It was no point in putting him on the court. So to continue to start him even though you know what you were going to get, and then once you see what you get from him, then you bury him on the bench. At a certain point, some of that stuff is too late.
It's
I
too
was
late.
impressed. Only person I was really impressed with was Rui throughout the whole series.
Roy cooked.
But that's a different, not Rui and Reeves. Austin
Yeah,
Reeves,
Reeves. Yeah,
like
yeah.
that Bama, he about to get a contract. But
That's a
other than
fact.
that, like I think everybody else underwhelmed.
Yeah, though it was definitely upsetting watching Rui play as well as he was playing. This Bama was playing defense. He was getting buckets. He was going to the lane, slamming on Bamas. He was shooting tray balls. He had the best 3-point percentage for the team. This Bama was doing everything, and
He was second in the whole
about,
playoffs in 3-point percentage.
all I could think about was we had this Bama, and we gave him away for Kendrick bum
None.
sauce none, dog.
So you can get your Israeli kid more playing time.
Are
That's
you
what was
kidding
important to
me?
them.
Are you kidding me? And I get it. Granted, Tommy is out of here. He's out of the organization. So be it, right? They got him out before I was about to write an article about just this whole situation. But still, dog, it's like young. Y'all had talented pieces, and you let him go. KCP over that jump cooking, hitting tray balls. Like, I'm not saying these Bama's is all world, but I'm just saying these are pieces you could use. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. But shout out to Denver. Shout out to Jenna Garcia. I kind of trolled her on the back line. I was like, oh yeah, y'all about Stern's orders in full effect. Y'all not about to get no sweet. That ain't about to happen. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And then lo and behold, Silver had a different script, dog. He was reading from a different script. I was like, oh, and got me. Good thing I ain't had no bread to put up on the jump, because Bama would have been in counseling right now with the missus, looking at each other like, my bad, yeah, my bad. But the whole you spent 20 grand and just dumped it. I'm like, young, because dog, I just knew for a fact that they was gonna pull the strings, Aaron. I just knew the puppet strings was there. And they knew that everybody knew the puppet strings was there, and they just said, nah, we about to do opposite of what everybody's thinking. Sweep time, get them up out of here. Now we got the Miami Heat on the verge of sweeping the Celtics. Does it happen?
I mean, based on what you've already seen in the series, is yes. But the gambler in you will say it's no way they sweep these Bama's. I'm taking Boston for this game. Scott Foster is the
Scott
referee,
Foster's referee.
scamming
And if you
ass.
no, that Bama is a crook. It'll never come out. But y'all gotta remember when Tip Donnie he had his whole scandal, Joe, and they cast him out there and sent him to the guillotine. Dog, Scott Foster was his man, and Scott Foster was being like they were investigating him, but the joke never really like came to light because once they threw away Tim Donaghy, they just threw away the whole situation, and they just was like, and the block was hot. So when the block was hot, everybody stopped doing the funny business. But I'm telling you, the whole joke with Chris Paul, all them games Chris Paul lost, and dog, Scott Foster is dirty, dog. It writings on the world wall. And the Miami Heat haven't won in 10 outings with Scott Foster refereeing. Make that 11. Because I'm going with the Celtics tonight.
I'd be tempted to, but I haven't watched a single game in this series, so I would be betting blindly on what I know about.
Dog, you might as well. The joke, it's a 50-50 crapshoot anyway, dog. The way these Bammers be doing it, you don't even know. Them Bammers could come to the stadium right before the game. They be like, all right, all the money's over here. Okay, yeah, we put a hook. Yeah, it's a sweet. Go
Let
ahead,
me
make
see
it
what that
happen.
money line looking like.
Dog, it's like favor. It's like the Heat are favored by like 3 or like 2. It's like 2 or 3. So I mean, Jimmy Butler is going to get up. But let me ask this question: if Jimmy Butler takes the Miami Heat to the finals and they beat the Denver Nuggets, is he the greatest Miami Heat player to ever play?
He the best player in the NBA. They don't want to have that conversation. All these guys who they try to put ahead of him, Embiid, Tatum, all these other guys not getting it done when it matters. LeBron, AD, both on the same team. He don't have no AD. He don't have a LeBron. He don't have a Jamal Murray. He just keep getting it done, dog.
He just keep getting it done. Yeah, I mean, it seemed like Jimmy Butler. Like I like Jimmy Butler because he's cut from a similar cloth. Like
Like a
you can
'90s guy.
tell, like a '90s guy, dog. Like he comes, he plays, and this is what I used to say. Like I, when I played sports and I was a cooker, I'm not a cooker no more. Well, unless y'all playing golf, I got the clubs. I'll fry you in some golf. But like when I was a hooper, and we used to play in like championship games and stuff like that. Dog, if Bama's ain't believe we was about to mud hole the team, then I didn't even want to play alongside you. Like I didn't even want you on my team unless you thought every time we stepped on the floor it was a mud hole for the other opponent. Like that's how my mentality was, dog. And like Jimmy Butler, he exhibits that. Like when he comes, like he shows up and it's like we about to get a W, and there's nobody who can stop us. And that type of confidence, it make Bama's like Gabe Vincent hit 3 pointers. It make Bama's like Caleb Martin, drive to the lane and dunk. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you this. What's it, Kyle Lowry? Kyle Lowry a bum for real. I ain't even gonna hold you. He a scrub for real. But the Bama vicious because he got the right mentality. So it's weird, dog. Because you ever play with a Bama who just really a scrub for real, but he played like really, really hard, and he know like he just go hard, and you like, dog, this Bama just go hard. Like it's nothing you could do. They got a squad like that. Like everybody got the right mentality, and those who don't, Jimmy Butler is making up the difference because he out that junk getting buckets. Dog, how you shut down Tatum and Brown?
And one of the things that I don't think gets enough credit is like everybody likes to celebrate certain organizations and leadership and management. To me, this is the one seed as far as like basketball culture in the NBA. Like they like to give it
Mm-hmm.
to San Antonio because of Pop, who's a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't recall Miami having too many down years, even without having the Hall of Fame type players. I don't
Mm-hmm.
even know if Jimmy Butler is necessarily a Hall of Fame type player, but this about to be his what second finals in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So and being the best player on that team, so I just don't think Pat Riley, Alonzo Mourning, that Eric Spoelstra, that whole crew,
Mm-hmm.
and then also a function of keeping what's that boy that been there 30 years that just collect a check, that just beat people up. He don't want to.
Oh,
He
the
don't get in the
Donis
game.
Haslam.
Udonis has him. Just like having a guy there that basically helps disseminate the culture to the rest of the
Yeah,
team, like an
and
enforcer.
and that mentality, like he barking on Bama's though. It's just a whole different, like
It
a
just
whole
takes a
different
lot of
culture.
the eat because like here Bama's get passive aggressive. They start making
Mm-hmm.
secret tweets and having
Yeah.
attitudes like women. Like to have Bama's be able to like get into it even if they have to and just move on
Mm-hmm.
and keep it moving. Just approach things as they come versus letting stuff build up, having like the click
Yeah,
thing happen. It gets real weird in this city when stuff isn't going well versus just watching an organization that just does it right.
just does it right, though. And they got all the pieces from top to bottom, where there's a level of respect there, all types of stuff. Like you just Pat Riley, you you ain't talking crazy about Pat Riley. You know what I'm saying? It's just the and then Eric Spoelstra, like he don't get enough credit, but like his adjustments in game, like from game to game, like how they match up against teams and how he rely on his players, how the rotations he put out there. It's like I'm like, dog, he know what he doing, dog, and it's definitely noteworthy. But I just do they get past the Celtics in a sweep? Do they put the broomsticks out on them? I don't know, bro. I don't
They
know.
at home though. What's going to change over versus the first three games?
Yeah, you're right. I'm just taking a fly, dog. I'm taking a fly on Scott Foster, dog. I'm just gonna put my fingers.
I might be
No,
right with you. I need to hit for like 2 grand. I might just blindly put 2 grand on the money line and cross my fingers.
no, it's 50-50, dog. He just don't.
Bama gonna be sice if
Like,
you hit, but if you lose, you can be
you'll
like,
be
why the hell would I?
man, never gonna be steaming.
But it's gonna be no basketball for like a week if these Bamas don't win. Because the
Yeah,
finals
you
start
right.
what, June 1st?
Yeah. No, it ain't no way they gonna let this joke go a week, dog. They need
That's
that
what they was
TV.
banking on in that other series too.
No, ain't no way they gonna let this joke just ride with no basketball for a whole week. Nobody ain't watching the WNBA, dog. They had a game on the other night at 11 p.m. I said, what
That
is
might
y'all
be their
doing?
secret. That might be their secret to make Bama's watch Denver and Miami. You let them have baseball and WNBA for a week. I bet they come watch then.
That's a fact. That was gonna
Because
be
it's about to be
smart.
nothing but baseball. So by default, it's almost like you feel like
No,
you gotta watch at
it's
least a
good.
couple of the games
It's golf season, dog. That's all I'm be doing, man.
until training camp in August. Bama's is finished.
Dog. Well, what's your thoughts on Brian Davis is suing the Bank of America, dog?
For
Five
what?
hundred million billion or so. He's saying they did some funny business. Like he had when he sent in his proposal to buy the team, they basically like they told him that they received his offer and that they just declined the jump, and then they closed his account.
His Bank of America is like checking account. What you mean
Yeah,
they
not
closed his
checking
account?
account, but like with his business account that with them. So like the Batman's like, y'all doing fraudulent business and y'all didn't get my, so I want to be compensated for that. So the jump might be interesting, dog. If the Batman can get paid off the back end, where he ain't really like, you know what I'm saying? Like he
But
basically knew they was going blackball them. The
people were
whole, the
accusing
whole
him of this being his plan the whole time, like knowing he wasn't gonna get the team, but being able to
might
like
be.
file a lawsuit
No, but
to
this is
see.
the thing. Racism always it happens in all. So as soon as they seen the black Bama come and try to say he got what we do, as soon as the Bama said he was about trying to buy the team for 6 billion, Bama was like, hold up, niggas, no, it's instant, like discrediting by default. Nobody even knew who the Bama was before even. As soon as they found out he was black, oh nah, that Batman ain't got no, he ain't got that money. It
But
ain't
you
his
know the
money.
drill.
Boo.
He filed a lawsuit for 500 million, hoping they settle for 65,000. Then he gonna go about his next game. So it don't even really matter. It don't
He
even
gonna
really
get
matter.
more than 65,000.
How they just dog? You know the lawyers that these Bama's got with Bank of America in the NFL.
Yeah, but if they did the Bama crud and didn't even really
Who's
like
to
look at it,
say this joint about to be in front of? Dog, don't make me say it. You already know who. Dog, these Bama's
you're
got
right.
handshake agreements.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
They got one cause, and black
Ah,
ain't it. So, dog.
no, that's disheartening because I want to see my man
If
come
Cap
up off
ain't
the
getting nothing but,
stand.
but pocket change, you know this joker ain't about to get nothing.
No, yeah. Oh man, they talk about trying to get RFK Stadium, the stadium, Commander Stadium back at RFK. Is it gonna happen, Aaron? I don't think it's gonna happen, bro. It's a like they still got to get the federal land back over, and then
So
you
this
got
the
to get
thing:
the residents on board, and it
when Trump win the
just
election next year and come back on,
Trump
the,
gonna be in jail, Aaron.
he gonna be president from jail because he gonna win the election. Because this Bama that y'all push through, he ain't got it figured out at all. And so once this Bama win election and they start doing behind the scenes handshake deals, they gonna get a land back to DC. They gonna have a white male mayor. Dog, the whole joint just gonna slide into place, and the next stadium is gonna be back in DC, back at the RFK location. It makes too much sense. Like for them to start building up that War 7 area and start to do with that what they did with like the wharf and
Mhm.
they've had too much success with the wharf and Navy Yard. Dog, they need that area to be built back up, and the only way to get to that point and to push more niggas out is to put that stadium over there. That's what to supercharge that whole mission to start building up a
Mhm.
new wharf slash Navy Yard
So,
destination in
so,
Northeast.
so you don't think if you had to put the percentages that the stadium
87%.
it goes to DC, goes to Virginia, or another location in DC.
I'm gonna say 70% DC.
You talking about RFK or RFK?
Right.
Okay.
70%. I think that's the only place logistically like where they could put it at this point. DC is
So
too
they so
built
they
up.
talk they talk they're talking about the off of 295 where you have the
Like Barry
what's
Farms?
that big not that big park that's on the right side of 295 that just
Yeah,
it's a
Barry
bunch of
Farms. Like the other side is Anacostia Park. Hell no, they're
yeah.
not putting that joint over there. I just can't see it. I don't know if the
Okay.
land is big enough to put it there. Then the
Okay.
parking and the traffic situation, I can't personally see it. Then it obstructs the views of the water and all that. I think the only place to put it right now is RFK.
Hmm.
The only other place I think that would make sense, I know they wouldn't want to put it back in PG County, but in Oxon Hill, where the National Harbor area is, like close to water, I could see like they have the land there for that. Other than
Hmm.
that, it's going to Virginia, like Prince William County or some shit that I'm
Hmm.
never going to go to ever.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay.
But anybody want to put some bets up? I'm not saying I have any inside information, but
They gonna pull out all the stops. I heard dude on the radio the other day trying basically to talk it up. So
it's happening.
they trying to make it happen, dog. They definitely trying to make it happen.
And DC
Uh,
needs this as much as Washington does. I know with Bowser being there and acting the way she did, like she didn't want the stadium there as long as the name was there. They need it more than anything. With all the stuff that's going on, all the bad publicity and all that kind of stuff, dog. DC needs that stadium back over there.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, it definitely would help. Definitely would help. You know. Uh, 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 uh. John Morant, dog. You heard the strippers said that the Bama's a clout chaser. Essentially, you heard about that?
I didn't hear about it. That's not
One of the
news.
clubs he was one of the clubs he was in when he was tossing the money around. It was like he's just a boy, and then they asked, the reporters I guess asked her if this would impact him, and they were just like, nah, he's thirsty for attention, this and that, everything
She
that we
she must not have got none of that bread that he was throwing on the floor. That must have went to the
that,
bad
yeah.
joints in there. She was in the back face twisted up. She ain't lying though.
Yeah, dog. Yeah, he.
It's just funny because like again, we watch people talk about stuff they have no idea what's going on, and they got all of these answers and suggestions, and like, why is he doing it? Like, some people, this is the pinnacle of life to him. Like, this is what he wanted to make the league for, so he can shake his dreads, have the chains on with the diamonds, act like a tough guy, flaunt like this is heaven to some of these dudes. Like a lot of these dudes that grow up in some of these like outskirt environments where you kind of get a pass because you're an athlete, you kind of look the part, so guys will accept you. They'll definitely extort you, but this is what he's been dreaming about. You've seen his Twitter from when he was in school. Like he's been dreaming about being this person. So you gonna
Mhm.
come along and tell him this is not who you want to be? Like you should try to be like this. That's not how it
It's
works.
too late. It's too
It's too
late.
late. His father should have been doing that from, the, know what I
His
mean, back
father
in
the
the day when
same
he started.
person. What you mean? His father.
And that's the problem.
Oh,
He don't see nothing
no.
wrong with his behavior, and technically it's not illegal. I mean, we see white people flaunting guns on social media all the time, and the angle that's taken towards it is completely different. That
Hmm.
being said, like when you accept the lifestyle as being you want to be the face of the league and you getting all this money, accepting all of these endorsements and stuff like that. To me, that's you saying I'm fine with the double standard and participating in this not synthetic image, but
Hmm.
you almost kind of agree to accepting their perception of what the other things look like to them. Like
Yeah.
if you're gonna be face of the league, like LeBron's done it perfectly. Now you see behind the scenes, LeBron's like a nigga
He
behind
is
the
a
scenes, but
scumbag
he
like the
knows how
rest
to
of them.
conduct himself
Yeah.
and be
Yeah,
the face of the league.
yeah. Nah, that's a fact.
And he didn't have a
Who
dad or
i-
college.
if you was gonna make somebody else the new face of the league, who would it be?
I
Who
think
could you choose and be like, this person can be the face of the league, and I'm not concerned.
well, if it's up to them, it'll be a white boy. It'll be what's down in Dallas, your man,
Luca?
Luca. I think Luca makes the most sense from a
Uh-huh.
financial standpoint because we know how white people are, and they will always gravitate towards somebody white who is even a B plus versus a black guy that's an A plus. You know what I mean? They'll try to. You
Okay.
saw what happened with Jokic around the MVP voting and stuff like that. Like and Steve Nash getting two
Mhm.
MVPs, they'll always side. Like if it's even close, they'll always err to that side. So I think
Mhm.
Luca would be, even though he's not American, would be a natural face of the
Your
league
best bet.
if he can
Okay.
win. These Bama's missed the playoffs, so they got to
That's
get
a
that
fact.
part figured out. but I'm sure they'll
Yeah.
blame Kyrie for that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. But who you making face of the league?
I don't
You
think
run the
there's anybody
NBA, you
there
the
yet.
marketing.
I don't think there's anybody there yet. Like there
You
is
can't
no other
afford it.
LeBron.
You okay, so you just gonna
You
let
would have to
everybody just kind of
manufacture somebody.
yeah.
Ja has told you he can't be that person. He
No.
was on his way, but he told you I can't be that person. I'm not qualified. So then
Uh-huh.
you got to do like they did with people gonna hate it. Like certain aspects with Kobe is just like you manufacture a guy.
Okay. Who you gonna manufacture, Ern?
That that's the thing. Is no young. Who is it? Who's there?
I don't know.
They because Giannis is not from here, and it's like there's this love hate relationship with bigs. Like it would have to be
Yeah,
somebody who's
yeah.
like a small forward or smaller. Like who would it be?
I
There's
don't
nobody
know.
there. You gotta make somebody. They wanted it to be Tatum, but he Betamax,
He made a max
and you
dog.
can see that like they're so like we've seen maybe five Wimbenyamas come into the league, and there's been no excitement at all. Now all of a sudden they putting all the eggs in this basket. You can see they're desperate and thirsty for somebody
No,
else to come along and be.
is Victor gonna be that guy, dog? He Rudy Gobert to me, dog. 2.0.
No,
I
no
just
way, because he can handle the rock. To
yes, he
me,
can.
to me,
But they
he
showing the video. They showing videos of the Bama getting bodied under the
he
rim.
shouldn't be in
You
the
get
post. The
you
Bama
getting
weighs
sad though
30
at seven
pounds.
two.
No, he
Yeah,
shouldn't
you
be in the
right.
post. As long as he doesn't get one of them DC, Baltimore head coaches from the 80s and 90s who
Get
get
on
in
the
the
block.
post.
You don't come off the block.
Right. As long as he doesn't get one of those as a head coach, he'll be fine. He's Porzingis with handles. And we didn't
He is
realize how good
Porzingis in here.
Porzingis was till he got here.
Until the guy hit. Then we saw that closeout like,
Right.
yeah, that
And
man
so
can
if you
hoop.
can kind of
He can
lean
stay
into his
healthy.
skill set instead of villainizing it, him
Yeah,
not being
yeah,
in the post, I think the only issue would be like them skinny guys with those feet. It would be those
yeah,
his
yeah.
feet.
It's health. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay. But you think you saying ceiling is Porzingis.
No, I think he
What
could be better than Porzingis because he can handle the rock. Porzingis can't.
okay. Okay.
But I think he could
Okay.
also be like a.
That's the trajectory though.
That's who I like when they get guys in the league,
That's the
like with Chet
comparison.
Holmgren, they were looking at
Hmm.
Giannis. I think with
Hmm.
this guy, you have guys who you say, okay, we want to develop him in this path or in this blueprint.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
Now, whether
That's
he can get there or not, I think you never know with anybody. Y'all, everybody swapping down. Zion was going to be the one, but look what happened with him.
damn.
So you never know until Bama's get in the league, really.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Okay. I think that's all for the show, though. I mean, Wizards social media account was out here lunching though.
And the Angry Whites is on Chase Young again for not coming to voluntary minicamp.
Oh my
So I'll
goodness,
be ready to
dog.
beat the snot out of some of these Bama's
Why does it matter? Why does the Bama have to show up?
because they want them to because they don't like them. They pick and choose favorites and people they don't like. And when you should have heard this Bama Danny Rouillet on the internet, like trying to go, it's just no. I really be wanting to put hands on some of these Bama.
No, don't worry. We got something for them. We got digital hands. Yo, why they hate on Chase Young? They drafted him with the second overall pick. Yo, see stuff like this make Bama's want to leave. Like it's just, I
I just like if it was consistent with everybody, I would be like if they treated everybody the same way. But they
mm,
like the shit that really pisses me off and why I don't like the media and why I don't like certain demographics in this area. They pick and choose when they want to emphasize certain stuff. He saved y'all garbage ass franchise and had y'all in the playoffs his first rookie year. The second year he didn't play as well. He got injured. And
mm.
so like everybody want to act like it's been a complete bust. It's just they want to rewrite narratives, and it just pisses me off because they don't have that same energy when they boy Taylor Heineke go out there and slum it up, or certain like you see certain people slum, but it's like when it comes to Carson Wentz and when it comes to Chase Young, they just want to pick guys that they don't like and they treat it completely different, and that's why we do what we do because we're not having it, dog.
Nah, we not having it. Hey Chase, we with you, bro. We see the funny business. We ain't gonna allow them to slander you, dog.
And you can't
Y-
bully a rich young Batman into doing what your nerdy $30,000 a year writing articles on
Pub host,
WashingtonCommanders.com. Yeah,
pub
get up.
host.
Dog, these nerds. You can't even win an argument with your wife, but you want to come influence a 21-year-old rich Bama who's been great his entire life. Like, get out of here. I can't stand these nerd Bamas, dog. We got to get these Bamas out of
We
everything.
gotta get the nerd bammers off the radio, dog. We changing the whole scene. Oh my goodness, it's so upsetting. Follow us at OSS 980 at Other Side of Sports. All the info at the bottom. Subscribe to the channel. You want to donate $5? We'll take it, bro. You want to cop some merchandise? Go on OSS 980. You can go to the link in there. Cop some gear. We got the golf gear on that, Joe. Shout out to Where's Buffy podcast. Shout out to Jenna Garcia. Shout out to Sports Talk Tasha, Lance J Radio. Everybody who rock with us heavy. We out.